Buddy, you're in Fitness First making some pound moves, drumming in the studio. A big move day, you got sticks in your hands. Your moves are a grace, kicking your glutes all over the place. Singing! Right guys, welcome to season 5 of Body and Mind, brought to you by beverage partners Lacto Healthy Living Juices and Oasis Box Drinking Water, hygiene partners Cool and Cool, and associate sponsors Nutrido Herbivia, NutriCook and Allium Chicken. I wish every morning of mine started like this. I'm sure with all that pounding you would have got the riff. Today we're in for some high octane action at Poundfit. My initial impression of Poundfit experience is that it's absolutely exhilarating, but I've just finished my class and it's very important for me to clean up with my Cool and Cool hand sanitizer because everyone's using the same sticks. Let's remember we're still in the middle of a pandemic. It's very important to maintain your personal hygiene. 1, 2, 3. Yes, so Poundfit, it was like no other high energy class I've ever attended. It was so much fun. It was like you're at a party with sticks and everyone's just laughing, having a great time. At the same time, you get a fantastic workout out of it as well.
So when I first started, I had 4 left hands, 4 left feet, very little coordination at all. But as the classes go on, after 2 or 3 classes, you start to understand the rhythm and you recognize your favorite songs, and then it just comes more naturally. So it's very energetic. I keep my heart rate up. I keep a close eye that my heart's still working, but it's a great workout and a great fun workout as well.
The moves as such are quite simple, but when it's your first class, it's a bit hard to make sure that your choreography is on point. I would say by the 3rd class, I would be able to, be in sync with the class and the instructor a little bit more. Because this was my first class, I was finding it a bit hard to move from one step to another, But it's a lot of fun. It's like dancing with sticks. It's much like your modern day dandiya, I would say.
It's a very positive workout that gives off very amazing vibes from the people participating, from the instructor, from the music, from the moves in general. So you just leave the class very happy and very positive and very energetic. So it's amazing. It's super fun.
Yeah, it's one of the most fun workouts out there. It's definitely like high energy, high intensity. Having the sticks makes it even better.
Pound means a lot. I remember the first day I came to the class and it was the love from the first strike. Once I tried the sticks, it's changed my mind completely. I think that Pound is more than fitness because it's unite people, they're sharing their energy, and it's just something else.
Oh, if I have the opportunity to come back, I wouldn't say no to it because, the instructor, he was really good, very engaging. At the same time, even the rest of the members, they were so in tune with it. They couldn't wait for the class to start. And I was a little bit shy because it's my first class and this involves a lot of, high energy moves and jumps and kicks and lunges and whatnot. But after, I would say, the first set, I started to loosen up a little bit more, I think. We have the man of the hour, Isran. He is the Fitness First instructor and Poundfit Icon, or Pound Icon as they like to call it, right? So you're the master trainer of this fitness program. First of all, what a playlist. It was mind-blowing. It just takes you back so many years. Of course, we started off with a little bit of Queen, then there was Bon Jovi, Led Zeppelin, and you name it. You know, so many iconic songs that you chose. What inspired you to choose this track list?
Yeah, so it all depends on the mood on the day and what my plan is for the class. So obviously this is a special class that we've arranged. So my idea was just to bring out all these crazy rock tracks that everybody's familiar with and everybody knows it. Because obviously once you hear the song and you recognize the song, you're gonna have so much more fun and you're gonna put so much more effort into your workout.
And you feel nostalgic, right? Because everyone has different memories attached to different types of music and it just takes you back, you know, to your own happy place.
Yeah, that's our idea. We want to distract people from the workout and just have people enjoy whatever experience it is in the class. So once you hear this track, you just go like, oh yeah, it was so cool.
I'm really curious to know, where did this idea, because it's genius, the idea of Poundfit is just brilliant because it's so much fun. It doesn't feel like a workout a lot of the times. Where did this come from?
It's it's an amazing idea. So it's our CEO Kirsten Potenza. She's the brainchild behind Pound. So it's based out in Los Angeles. And how they came about is actually one day they were just at a party and they were at this drum kit playing the drums because she and our other co-founder is actually part-time drummers. So they were at this party and they're playing on the drums, but the drums didn't have a drum seat. So they were standing and playing all night long and just people were having a good time. And the next morning they woke up and their legs were so tired and they were like, man, this could actually be a workout. So we could rock the music and we could have a workout at the same time.
So they created,
and that's how it kind of got into what it is today.
They created a whole business out of something that they're extremely passionate about.
It's crazy.
If only running towards the fridge would become a business as well, then I would be the founder of that. What are these sticks actually made of? Because during the class there was one girl who almost broke her stick. And there's a lot of heavy pounding going on with these ones. So what are these made of?
So it's a weighted drumstick. So we call them a rip stick because they're supposed to make you ripped. That's the aim of the game. So it's about 1/4 of a pound each. But eventually, somewhere along the line, 1 or 2 of them might break. But that just shows you how hard the people are rocking out in your class.
Absolutely.
So once they start going crazy and they just release all this energy, they might just hit the weak spot on the stick, and that's just a production error.
The energy that you give out is just unbelievable because you pump up everybody, your moves. I mean, obviously you were built, to be an instructor here at Poundfit. How many calories would you say you approximately burn during a class?
So you can burn anything up to like 700, 800 calories in a single class. That's a 45-minute session. But obviously it depends on you and how much effort you put into your workout. So if you're gonna go like really hard, you can get up to like 700, 800, maybe even 900 calories.
Because this was my first class, obviously the challenging part was getting the choreography right. Because the moves are more or less quite simple. It's anyone can do it. But it's getting the choreography right, making sure you're on the right side at the right time. Personally, I found the mat exercises a little bit more challenging, the ones with the feet up, you're sat upright because I have lower back issues. But of course there was, an easier alternative to it. You suggested crossing the legs. So anyone can do this class as long as you modify depending on, your comfort level.
So this is our aim in Pound. Pound is for everybody and everybody. So it doesn't matter what you look like, what your shape, size is, or what any ailments you've got. This is why we always have this, we call it a movement spectrum, so where you can adjust certain exercises to accommodate the people that's in the class. So as an instructor, we always provide the different kinds of options and people can choose wherever they're comfortable. So if cross legs is easier for you, then you can stay there all the time, no problem. You're still enjoying the workout and you're still getting a proper workout. So options for all,
Great words. Pound is for everybody and everybody. Isran, you definitely will be somebody someday. Thank you so much.
I hope so. Thank you so much. It was so good to be here. And thank you for joining the class,
My pleasure.
I hope to see you in my classes soon,
I'll be back. I think I'll be back, yes.
All good. So good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
After that high energy Poundfit class, it is time for me to refuel. I'm gonna have some of my Lucknow protein milk here with berries. What's great about Lucknow protein milk is that it is 100% natural, it's high in vitamins, calcium, has 60 grams of protein and 15 per serving, and it is great for your long-term wellness and nutritional needs. It's time for me to head to break, and we will be back in the pit in a bit. Welcome back to season 5 of Body and Mind, brought to you by beverage partners Lacno Healthy Living Juices and Oasis Box Drinking Water, hygiene partners Cool and Cool, and associate sponsors Nutridor Abevia, Allium Chicken, and NutriCook. Now, I'm sure we can all agree that we are guilty as charged when it comes to emotional eating in 2020. But you know what they say? A moment on the lips, forever on the hips. So more on that with some tips. All right, it's time for my second date with none other than Chef Abs. Welcome back, Chef.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Chef,
Always.
Rumor has it that you actually have abs. Is that true?
It is. I'm trying on it because everybody asks me, your name is Abs and where's your six packs? And I
It
was
puts
like,
so much pressure on you, right?
it is indeed, yeah.
I know. I'm so glad I'm not named that, so I have no pressure. I don't have the pressures that you do. All right. So, low glycemic. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
What does
correct.
that mean? What does that mean?
As you say, I have a pressure of six packs and abs. My name is Abs. So I always have that conscious that I want to do in a six packs. And the diet should be less sugar. Now, low glycemic is all about low sugar. It also helps people, those who are suffering from diabetes. And many people don't understand what to eat. For example, we think that fruits are healthy. They are low sugar, but not every fruit are low sugar. Okay. So for example, you take mango. Mango has a high GI content. Okay. When you say glycemic, we call it GI index. Okay. And in that, there are certain fruits which are low GI. For example, I use raspberries in this. I use oranges in this.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the first dish. Okay, so this is a Thai tom yum salad.
Yes.
Okay, and you've made it with chicken breasts.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is basically in a chicken breast marinated with tom yum marinade. It has some soya, it has some sriracha sauce, it has that ginger, lemongrass. Okay.
Does soy sauce have too much sugar?
No, soya, we use a light soya sauce, and soya is prepared through a fermentation process. So when you do fermentation, the sugar already gone. Okay, so now we use soya in that one, we have oranges that one, we have raspberries, these are all low GI. And lettuce, obviously, they are low GI. Okay, all the green vegetables, they are low GI. Like tomatoes, they are also low GI. So I try to incorporate all these ingredients and make it a little vibrant. You have that spiciness coming from sriracha, you have that sourness coming from orange juice, and you have that kick of ginger.
Yeah.
And that chicken is so tender. I cook that chicken in an air fryer.
Yes.
Which is amazing. It
It
cooks
is.
so fast. Within
It is.
10 minutes, I'm able to cook my chicken.
Yeah, Chef Abs has used a whole range of my NutriCook products in the kitchen. And tell me a little bit about what made you choose to put fruits in a Thai salad, because it's not very traditional, is it?
To be honest, Thai people do use fruit, but like they use papaya, they use in a raw stage.
Yes.
Okay. They also use mangoes, but mangoes has a high GI, so I did not use in this one. And also the Thai food has that spiciness. So to balance that spiciness, it needs a little sweetness to it, at the same time balancing the low GI index. And this is all about this salad.
I love it. It's so whole because the flavor profile in this is extremely rich, because you've got the sweetness and the sourness from the fruits, the spice from the chicken, and of course, you know, the greens just add that delicious salad element to it. I love this one. All right, Chef, moving on to this little bird over here. I believe you cooked this in my NutriCook Smart Air Fryer oven.
Yes.
Isn't it amazing to
It
use
is,
that
and
product?
I cooked it very slow.
Yes.
I cooked it almost for 45 minutes to 1 hour, and you
Yes.
can see the skin has become crispy, the chicken is still juicy inside, and by cooking it slowly, it has more flavor and tender meat. Okay, I serve with chickpeas. Now chickpeas, not many people knows that they are low GI. The sugar content is very low. That's one of the ingredients that I've used in this dish, has the lowest sugar content. Okay. Also the chicken has a low GI. So I use the chickpeas with some olive, tomatoes. I added some herbs like rosemary, thyme, and basil to give that freshness. So it just lifts the whole stew. You have that slight lemony taste to the stew. It balanced with the spicy chicken.
What's the name of the dish? We didn't cover that.
This is a barbecue chicken with chickpea stew.
I absolutely love to barbecue in my NutriCook oven because it's got a very large capacity and so many versatile functions. You can toast, roast, rotisserie, and whatnot. And it's also got a very sleek design. That's what I really like about it. Now tell me a little bit about the cook on the chicken, because it's nice and crispy on the outside, but it's also tender and super juicy inside. In fact, you don't even need the chickpeas on the side. It's just an added bonus.
It's all about cooking it slow. Now I say I cooked it for 45 minutes to 1 hour. that slow cooking make that skin very crispy. You get that crunch in it, and at the same time it keep the juices intact inside the meat. And that marinade of rosemary and thyme give you a little hint of herbs on the chicken. And it's all about cooking in the NutriCook oven.
Roasting chicken goes hand in hand with rosemary and thyme. They're probably my favorite herbs to use when it comes to roasting. I personally do it all the time in my kitchen. And I love that you've used allium whole chicken because it is the best. There's no added hormones, there's no antibiotics, and it's free-range chicken. Delicious inside out. Chef, you are spoiling me. Are you trying to get me fat?
I don't think so. As I said, this is a low GI, so I don't think you're going to get fat.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I love how you are taking care of me as well. Chef, as always, it's been fantastic having you here in my home. Thank you for coming over and cooking for me, and I'm glad you enjoyed using my little smart gadgets in the kitchen.
I'm going to take them home.
Yeah, we will see. We will talk about that. Let's
Okay.
Like they say, you learn something new every single day. Till today, I had no idea what glycemic index was, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for that. You guys keep an eye out for our next segment after the break. Welcome back to Body and Mind, brought to you by beverage partners Lacno Healthy Living Juices and Oasis Box Drinking Water, hygiene partners Cool & Cool, and associate sponsors Nutridor, Herbivia, Allium Chicken, and NutriCook. Marriage and relationships, it's not always a pretty picture, and throw a pandemic into it and things can go awry. So today we are going to get some professional advice here at Priory Wellbeing Center. To shed some light on couples' relationship issues during COVID and to share some useful tips, I'm joined by Tanya, who's the clinical director and psychologist here at Priory Wellbeing Center. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm sure you've never been busier.
Yes.
Difficult times, eh?
It is definitely.
I'm sure we can both agree that no matter what stage in your relationship you're in, you've had to make several adjustments to adjust to the new reality during COVID. The good news is that couples can use this time to really work on their relationship because you get to spend more time with each other. The bad news is that couples spend too much time together, right?
It's kind of a catch-22 with this one. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So what has been your general observation of relationship trends during COVID?
So I think if we go one step back, when you look at what's happened with relationships that do tend to fall apart, it really is the couples not connecting on meeting their needs and not adjusting to each other. And when we are put into a situation where we have to now deal with external stressors, like what we're going through with COVID, it makes it a little bit more challenging to communicate that to each other, that we are appreciating our spouse or our partner, because we're kind of in that space of having to manage the external stressors as well.
I mean, no matter what stage you are in your relationship might be a month old. Nobody needs to spend 24 hours, 7 days a week with each other under the same roof. And you add the work pressure on top of it. There's irritability, there's emotional detachment, there's adjustment, a lot of adjustment that needs to happen. What would you say are some of the tips that you can give to navigate through these challenges?
John Gottman, a American researcher in marriage, has termed these the four horsemen: the contempt, the criticism, defensiveness, and then our stonewalling, where we actually use avoidance and not wanting to communicate. If we are able to identify that we're using these tools, and we are able to use the antidote of actually saying, I feel, not you've made me, but I feel sad, or I feel lonely, or I feel isolated, I feel scared. I feel fearful for not knowing when this pandemic's going to end, or what's happening with our financial situation, or I'm feeling frustrated dealing with the children in the house all day. If we're able to communicate effectively and seek out the support that we're craving, I think that we can learn ways of being supportive to each other in this sort of situation.
You mentioned finances. Even during the best of times, finances can put a strain on any relationship.
Absolutely.
And you add an external stressor like a pandemic into the mix where a lot of people have either lost their jobs or had severe pay cuts. The uncertainty of not knowing when and if they'll ever get a job anytime soon can put severe strain on marriages, relationship, finances.
Absolutely.
How can they better or be more positive about this?
You know, if we focus on the things that they are doing right, and we focus on appreciating them, acknowledging that appreciation, when we also focus on developing a ritual that we can do every week with our partner, whether that's going for a walk outside, whether that's, sitting down having a coffee together or a tea, we're able to actually identify time when it's just going to be you and me. And we can just have that conversation where it's just us. We can open up, we can be vulnerable, and we can share. That really does tend to bring couples closer together.
This pandemic has unfortunately broken up a lot of relationships. I mean, if you look at the statistics a lot, I don't want to quote any because I'm not sure how accurate it is.
Yeah.
But it is no secret that it has broken up several marriages. And the fact that we're away from our family, and especially if you live in a different country, you don't have that emotional support anymore.
Yeah.
So how can you deal with, the lack of that emotional support from family and friends, because we don't socialize like we used to? It's not as easy to fly back home and see your mom, get a hug from her.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can we deal with that?
So I think identifying the loneliness is a big issue. We can be in a marriage, a healthy marriage, and still be lonely, because what this pandemic has done is taken away all of our other areas where we were fulfilled. We come to the office and we feel a sense of connection with our colleagues. We have our friends that we socialize with. That fulfills another area for us. That was taken away, and in some ways it still is, right? When we think about our relationships with our family, with our spouses, if we are with each other 24 hours but we're not communicating in a way where we're being authentic with ourselves and being vulnerable, we're showing up as someone else. We're still putting up some sort of a facade. So we're still not having those needs met. So the real key here is to identify the loneliness and to reach out. So reach out, have those Zoom calls with family. We can't physically hug each other, and we have to physically isolate, but we don't have to socially isolate. Even with our colleagues, being able to touch base with them, have some team meetings, have some, our coffee times, where we sit and say, everyone bring a coffee and let's just have a call at 10, where we're able to communicate with each other really does help to bring people together again.
Tanya, thank you so much for sharing those very useful tips. It's amazing because these are difficult times and we're dealing with it to the best of our knowledge. I really appreciate all the insightful tips you shared with us.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime.
That's not it, guys. Up next, we have a motivational speaker who's going to give us tips on how to keep yourself motivated during these tough times. Next to me is the lovely Kausar, who is an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, aura healer, mommy, and an overall superstar. She's a very busy lady, so am I, so we decided to meet at her spa here in Motor City. Kausar, first of all, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Ash, for coming.
You're such a ball of energy and positivity. You just emit it just as you walk into her room.
How sweet. It's your energy that attracts an opposite energy.
Oh, amazing. You're too kind. Thank you so much. Kausar, unfortunately, the times that we are in have been tough. It has been very taxing on each and every one of us.
Yes.
But being a motivational speaker, how have you motivated yourself and your loved ones during these difficult times?
Okay, for me, it was more important to count blessings.
Yes.
And right now, each one of us, this time has not spared anybody. So each one of us is facing their own battles, facing their own demons, and facing their own problems. So right now, I decided to count on my blessings, and that's what I would suggest everybody to do. Count on what you have rather than what you don't have.
It really gives you a perspective on life, doesn't it? Do you think such an unexpected time like this, a pandemic, has really taught us how much we really need in life versus how much we want?
Yes, greed is a very important thing that breaks you down. There's never ending to greed. So you might want something which belongs to somebody else, you know. The entire world has its own space. So if you stand together with your feet on the floor, you realize that's the space that God decided for you. If you're getting something more, you're blessed. But if you're being more greedy, that's when the eternal powers teaches us, stop.
Kaushal, for viewers watching at home, what are some essential tools or tips that you can give us to stay happy, positive as much as possible, and just to be mentally stimulated and motivated?
See, motivation and happiness starts from realizing how grateful you are. Now you realize that the world is gravitational, you know, the entire earth is gravitational, it pulls energies, and we are the magnet. So what you want is what you will attract. So if you want goodness, you will attract goodness. If you want peace, you will attract peace. But at the same time, keeping your mind focused towards your loved ones keeps you more in better shape and more happy. So I would only suggest that count your blessings.
Kaushal, those were some amazing tips. Thank you so much for doing that and for having me here at your salon. I'm very excited to get my pedicure after
Sure.
this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
All right, guys, so I'm going to enjoy my pedicure. It's time for the cameras to be out of the room. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Make sure you tune in same time again next week.